Your host Nick Toka, and the day started fast and furious today and also ended off with a bang. I'm going to have all the stories for you. XRP's lawsuit dropped. The feds are dovish with their interest rates. And I'm checking multiple things here at once, guys. I'm scouring the internet, looking for new stories so you don't have to. A lot of things on today's show. We're going to go through some technical analysis. We're going to talk about what happened today. We're going to talk about what's going to be happening tomorrow. Big news. Just yesterday I was talking about buying the dip, and I wasn't expecting things to pump so quickly, but they must have been listening to me because, bam, I woke up and I made a lot of cash, and hopefully all my viewers did too. We're going to go through a bunch of stories as mentioned. Bitcoin reclaims 85,000 after Fed signals slowdown and quantitative tightening. XRP soars over 10% after Ripple CEO says SEC will drop their appeal. The Bitcoin price is eyeing now 90,000 as Blackrock-led ETFs buy 512 million BTCs 3 days before the Fed decision a couple days ago, and they made a good call. Bitcoin and Ethereum likely finish their correction as the technical setup plays out, according to an analyst. Tomorrow, the first Solana futures and standard ETF will hit the markets. And also tomorrow, President Trump will address the Digital Asset Summit, the first time a sitting president will address a Bitcoin conference. All this and so much more on today's show. Welcome, folks, to Crypto News Global. I'm your host, Nick Toka. Today is March 19th, 2025. Tomorrow's March 20th, first day of spring, and things have definitely sprung on the crypto market as well. We're going to get right into our technical analysis. We're not going to go too much into predictions today as we did yesterday because there's so many stories I have to get through, so let's flip right into it. We've got the Biddy up almost 4%, 85,000. We'll call it 86,000. Ethereum up 5%, 2,029. Solana was up 10% at one point, $133. Right now it's up 7%. XRP up 10% earlier, 9.5% right now. Doge up 5%. Cardano up 4%. Everything's up, everything's up, everything's green. Going into the crypto bubbles, we will see about 95% of the bubbles on the screen in the green today. TEL up 16%. XRP, as we said, 9%. Solana, 7%. Doge, 5%. Pancake swap, 4%. Zooming out to the weekly, again, over 90%, about 95% in the green. Big winner for the week is Pancake Swap, up 55% for the week. Atom up 20%. Zooming out to the monthly, we still have about 95% in the red, but I expect that this is going to change as the month continues on. And after all, tomorrow is spring, so things should start to go green on us, right? Total market cap right now, we have Bitcoin at $1.7 trillion, Ethereum $244 billion. XRP has flipped Tether in terms of market cap. Now number 3 on the list, $144 billion. Solana $68 billion. Doge $26 billion. Cardano $26 billion. Tron $21 billion. Chainlink $9 billion. Pi has dropped way off the list. Now they're number 17. So another one, we keep saying it. The good coins last, the shit coins come and go, and you could lose your shirt. So be careful. Have some stop losses in there for what might be a shit coin. Total market cap is $2.77 trillion right now. Bitcoin has 61.5% of that. Ethereum has 8.8%. XRP 5.22%. Currently, our crypto fear and greed index today is a 49 in neutral. Yesterday was 32 in fear. Last week, a 45 in neutral. There are 1,121 days left until the next Bitcoin halving in 2028, with 161,444 blocks to mine. Until then, you can currently get 1,064 Satoshis for $1 US. And in our top assets by market cap, we've got gold at up again now, 20 trillion, 500 billion. Apple, 3.2 trillion. Microsoft, 2.8 trillion. Nvidia, 2.8 trillion. Amazon, 2 trillion. Google, 1.969 trillion. Silver, 1.94 trillion. Bitcoin now jumped up into the number 8 position, 1.726 trillion. Saudi Aramco, 1.6 trillion, and Meta, $1.475 trillion. The debt clock keeps pumping here. We have the current national U.S. debt at $36,618 trillion, which is $107,107 per U.S. citizen, which is up again. And that is $323,048 per U.S. taxpayer. Without further ado, we are going to head right into our stories. We've got Bitcoin that reclaimed 85,000 after the Fed signals a slowdown of quantitative tightening, which we talked about just yesterday. The Fed will start lowering its quantitative tightening in April 1st, reducing Treasury securities from $25 billion to $5 billion. In addition to signaling potential rate cuts, the Federal Reserve announced plans to slow the pace of its balance sheet runoff, also known as quantitative tightening, beginning April 1st, which is a week and a half away, guys. The monthly cap on treasuries maturing without replacement will be reduced to $5 billion, down from the previous $25 billion limit. Wow. The announcement caused global markets across the board to surge, including crypto, and it's going to continue to surge, including crypto. Bitcoin jumped from 84 billion to nearly 84,000 to nearly 86,000 before selling at 85.5 as the press time based on crypto slate data. Despite Bitcoin's nearly 2% price increase, I don't know if that's right, folks. I think it's more 4 to 5%. Not all major altcoins did not react as strongly. Ethereum is priced at 2,000 after a 0.5% variation in the same time period. Cardano, a slight 5% growth. This must be after hours they're talking about. Meanwhile, XRP and BNB showed virtually no price variation. However, Solana crossed the $130 threshold and was trading at $133. Fed Jerome Powell emphasized that the decision should not be interpreted as a broader policy shift, but rather a technical adjustment to ensure smooth market functioning. No frickin' kidding, idiot. Fed's rate path. The updated projections reveal a more cautious stance among FOMC members regarding the pace and extent of rate cuts. The medium forecast brings the interest rate to approximately 3.9% by year end. 9 policymakers anticipate 2 cuts in 2025, down from 10 in December, while 8 now expect only 1 or no cuts, an increase from 4 in the previous forecast. He said today that Jerome Powell, that things are going to stay the same. He's already said there's going to be 2 rate cuts this year. So I'm not sure why these analysts get paid, to be honest. Meanwhile, 2 members foresee 3 cuts, a drop from 5 in December, and none project more than 3 rate deductions. I don't expect more than 3 rate deductions. Jerome Powell said there's not going to be more than 2. So what are these analysts getting paid for? Once again, I have no idea what they're thinking, but let me just sum it up for you guys. The interest rate cuts are coming in April. The inflation was deemed normal, and the cause for panic in terms of a recession was deemed that it is not a extreme possibility of a recession, and in fact they said at any time there is a 1 in 4 chance of a recession, whether it's now, whether it's next year, whether it's in the past. At all times this is a possibility. So he said this is a very normal market that will be progressing adequately. That's pretty much a summation of what he talked about. Again, let me get through the fluff so we don't have to read this garbage that, you know, the so-called experts are putting out for us to read. I don't get it. But it's okay. When we woke up today, we might have looked at our screens and said, what the blood fry? Everything's up. What's going on? Well, XRP soared 10% after Ripple CEO says CEO will drop appeal. SEC will drop appeal. The price of the cryptocurrency XRP soared minutes after Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, announced Wednesday morning that the Securities Exchange Commission intended to drop a long-running lawsuit against the crypto payments company. XRP, which is closely associated with Ripple, jumped 10% to a high of $2.55 on the news. Bitcoin rose slightly above 84,000 before dipping on the after the news broke. I'm finally able to announce that this case is over, Garlinghouse said in a video. So, a video scored on X, scored to orchestral music. It's over. Right. So, this has been an ongoing case for a very, very long time. We're talking years here. A lot of people say that the price of Ripple's been held back because of this lawsuit. I feel like it's also, that is the situation. There are price predictions. There have been very many price predictions, even when on this show we went into Grok and we went into ChatGPT and we asked price prediction for XRP. They were giving cycle peak prices of over $10. So now that this lawsuit's over, let's see what actually happens with XRP. Hopefully everybody's loaded up. It's not too late to get into the XRP, guys. Let's actually go. I wasn't going to do this because we were running tight on time because there's so many stories to go through. But let's bring up Ripple here and let's go back to a more easily read chart. Line will do the trick. All right, so we've got good old Ripple in the light blue here, and if we zoom right out, it is not too late, folks. Look at the price. Look at the potential. This thing could go way up. So what am I looking at here? This is the daily chart. Let's zoom out to the. Let's go at least 1 year. I'd like to really go more than that. So I pulled up the 5-year chart here, and let's get Ripple on the board. And let's take a peek at the price here, and there is a lot of upside. All this has been messing around. This was all dealing with this sideways here. As far as the eye can see, This was all within the time frame of the lawsuit, right? I'm pretty sure the lawsuit started somewhere in here. Look, the price dipped. The price was shit, sideways, choppy, for how long here? A year and a half. Then there was news that the lawsuit might be taken away. And look at the time frame here, guys. Right when the crypto-friendly president, check it out, November 2020, like exactly when he won the election. Look at that. Okay, so now the thing that's been held back all this time, years literally, because of this lawsuit that's been overhanging, crypto president comes in, boom. Now, what do you think's going to happen when the actual lawsuit is over? We're going to see this potentially another straight line up. I don't think it's too late. You know, the smart people bought a long time ago. I don't want to call myself smart, but I'm way in the, I think it was 40, 50 cents. I bought it whatever I could back then because I knew this was, you know, it was a lasting coin and it was a bullshit lawsuit. But because the trend will still be up, historically, you know, we're still at the first part of the bull cycle. So in terms of, you know, if we want to compare it against the biddy, right, we've got a fair room to climb here from Bitcoin, and we also have quite a bit of room to go just in Ripple, and that's not even saying that something interesting is going to happen with it. For example, now that the lawsuit's over, it's going to pump. And these numbers I'm showing you here are still within the normal range. I'm not even talking about numbers where we're going to get up here in the Bitcoin in terms of the halving and all the good news has come out. Sorry, the post-halving. And, you know, traditionally, if we go back in history, it's always the year after the halving. We talk about it all the time, the halving in 2020, the height of the price, the peak in 2021, right around end of October to early November. So really between September and October, if the cycles historically continue, that's when you want to be getting the hell out of Dodge. And this, when everybody says, oh, Bitcoin's dead, this is where you want to be buying it, guys, on sale. So when we come over here with Ripple, I still feel like this is a sale price. You know, it's at $3, I think. So it could, you know, not long ago, it was at 4, I think, from what I remember. I know I'm at least 4 or 5x on the Ripple. So still not too late. You see there's a big possibility here, and that's not even considering, that's just getting up to the previous high, right? Let's close this up and get into our further stories here, because other big companies are making big moves and buying big Bitcoin. We've got Blackrock ETFs. The whales buy $512 million of the ETFs 3 days before the Fed decision. So, you know, talk about insiders, right? People who know, they buy. I was talking about it for the past 2 days. These guys had already bought 3 days ago, right? So I don't think it's too late to buy the dip still. You know, what, it went up 4 or 5%. Fine, you missed 4 or 5%. But there could be coming 100+%. We went through the analytics yesterday. Once things pick up, many of these coins, we're talking 100% gain. Bitcoin price surged 4% on Wednesday, hitting a 10-day peak. The rally followed 3 consecutive days of substantial Bitcoin ETF inflows totaling $512 million from BlackRock. As BTC flirts with the critical 90,000 resistance level, investors are closely watching the impact of the Federal Reserve policy decision on global markets, which happened at 4 o'clock today. Bitcoin price hits 10-day peak on the Fed rate decision, surged by 4% Wednesday, reaching a 10-day high, 85,000. The bullish momentum follows 3 consecutive days of strong institutional inflow into Bitcoin ETFs totaling $512 million. With the BTC price facing critical resistance at 90,000, market participants are watching closely to see whether the institutional demand and macroeconomic conditions will trigger more gains in the coming trading sessions. Well, if they're going to be cutting the rates in the next few weeks, then yeah, it definitely will trigger more gains. So look ahead, don't look today. Always look long term. Look at the big charts. Don't look. I know we just went into Trading View and we looked at the last 3 months or something like that, but don't do that. Look at this chart, right? This Bitcoin is always going up, right? Follow this line. If you follow this, then effectively, this is what's going to keep happening. There's going to be ups and downs, and we're talking about months here, right? You see these little dips and the candles up and down, up and down. These are not one-day events. These are months that these things are playing out in. So, don't think that, oh, Bitcoin's down, oh, Bitcoin's up. Keep chilled about it. Balls of steel. Things go down, it's time to buy the dip. Buy it on a red day. Sell it on an up day. If you bought it here on the red, you would have already made money in the green. And again, this is not a one-day event. This is, think about a month I'm pointing at here or more. But buy when the price is low, sell when the price is high, basic economics, basic financial literacy. Do that for everything, folks. Do that for real estate. Do that for the biddy. Do that for gold, silver, things that are going to hold value. If Best Buy's got a sale on TVs, I've said it before, there's a lineup freaking 100 people long. When there's a sale on financial assets, everybody's running the other way. So think of it that way, right? It's on sale. That's when you want to look at buying this shit, not running away from it. So a Bitcoin and Ethereum likely finish their correction as technical setup plays out, according to Analyst. Rect Capital tells his 542,000 followers on X that the relative strength index, RSI, momentum indicator used to indicate overbought and oversold conditions, is flashing bullishness for Bitcoin while on the verge of breaking through a descending trend line. Can the daily RSI break its downtrend dating to November 2024? Here we are, November 2024, trend line. The analyst also says that Bitcoin may soon rally to fill the CME gap with an upper bound price of 87,000. CME gap is the difference between Friday closing price of Bitcoin and the Monday opening price on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. Traders watch for gaps as these price differences tend to get filled. Bitcoin continues to successfully retest the CME gap as support. The orange box seen here, 78 to 80,000. BTC has been doing so at a higher low black. If this continues, BTC will soon be able to completely fill the 82,000 to 87 CME gap above the orange circle. So basically the market closes on Friday, the stock market. Bitcoin keeps trading. Bitcoin opens, the stock market opens on Monday, and there's a gap. So these prices effectively need to get filled up. So it is now on this line, getting back to filling this gap. And we saw the same thing here. There was in the opposite direction, right? There was a huge upswing Friday to Monday. So think of it this way. The stock boys, traditional financial markets, go home at 4 o'clock on Friday, and the biddy keeps trading. They wake up on Monday, and they cannot get into the markets because of their, they're not on Coinbase. They're buying these through their institutions, right? They need to then jump in through their institution to buy the biddy, and there's this gap between the Friday and the Monday. So these are the CME gaps we're talking about, and until these get filled, generally there's a halt, we'll call it, until these gaps get filled. Once we get, they've even drawn a nice green box here, rectangle. Once we fill this gap, then, sky's the limit, right? And we have gotten to very, very close to 87,000 today. We got to, look, it's at 86 and change as we speak. Bitcoin's trading for 85,000 time writing. Looking at Ethereum, the analyst says Ethereum may be entering a significant uptrend after declining into a price support that has historically sparked rallies. Again, we've got the bottom. We talked a lot about the bottom yesterday. Once the prices hit the bottom, there's support. They hit the bottom. The big time whales, the big time investors with the millions and billions, they know what they're doing. They didn't get those millions and billions by sitting on the sideline. They wait, the price goes down. Oh, the price is on sale. They see this bottom point where the support level is, right? There was support here. This is almost, if you look at this up and down, this is really this trend sideways. If you buy anywhere in here, then the only way to go is up. If you buy up here, the only way to go is down. So these guys, the whales, are buying in this support bottom. They're buying the stuff on sale. They're then selling it on the top. And in some ways, they're actually causing the price to bottom again, right? So keep that in mind. As I don't know how many billionaires I get on my show. Hopefully the numbers of that will increase over time. But for now, I presume the number of billionaires watching my show is 0. But we're all going to hit those billions, right? We're going to do it together, folks. Tomorrow, we talked about yesterday, we talked about today, we talked about the pumps. Now, let's talk about the future. The future of Bitcoin is tomorrow. The future of Solana starts tomorrow. A lot of people have been waiting for Solana ETFs, and the first one is going to hit the market tomorrow, March 20th, first day of spring, aligning. The products are significantly a step forward for the approval of a stops ETF, Solana ETF. It's a company named Volatility Shares, LLC, is launching 2 exchange-traded funds for Solana futures with SolZ, the ticker, offering standard exposure, and SolT, providing leveraged exposure. So that is happening tomorrow, and then happening more importantly later tomorrow, in my estimation, is for the first time a sitting president is going to address the Digital Asset Summit tomorrow afternoon. President Trump is going to be the keynote speaker. Now you're thinking, hey, he was in Memphis and he was the main event in Memphis. Yes, but at the time he wasn't a sitting president. So this marks, again, another milestone. President Trump will make history as the first sitting U.S. president to speak at a Bitcoin and crypto conference, delivering remarks at Blackworks Digital Assets Summit in New York tomorrow, his hometown. Trump is expected to deliver a speech tomorrow via a recording at Blackrock's Digital Assets Summit in New York City. This will be the first time a sitting president has addressed a Bitcoin and crypto conference, highlighting the growing influence of digital assets in mainstream financial policy. Trump has previously engaged the Bitcoin community, having spoken in person at the world's largest Bitcoin conference in Nashville last summer while on the campaign trail. His return to the stage now as a president further highlights the continued support from the U.S. government on Bitcoin. Trump's upcoming address at DAS comes only a couple of weeks after moving forward with the officially integrating Bitcoin into his national strategy when he signed an executive order establishing a U.S. strategic Bitcoin reserve, positioning BTC as a key asset for the country's financial future. Joining the lineup tomorrow at DAS is Michael Saylor, awesome, who will deliver a keynote speech and engage in a fireside chat with Bitcoin historian Pete Rizzo. Additionally, Bloomberg ETF analyst James Seyfarth will host a panel discussion with BlackRock's head of digital assets, Robbie Mitchnick, and NASDAQ's head of U.S. equities and exchange traded products, Gyung Byu, where they will delve into the evolving landscape of Bitcoin ETFs and institutional adoption. The announcement of Trump's participation follows remarks from Bo Hines, executive director on digital assets for President Trump, who spoke earlier this week at DAS. Hines reaffirmed the administration's commitment to accumulating Bitcoin for the strategic Bitcoin reserve, stating, "I think it's high time for our president starting accumulating assets for American people. I think it's high time that our president started accumulating assets for the American people," which is what President Trump is doing rather than taking it away. Oh, he didn't really start very well in that statement, but he definitely finished it nicely. It's exactly what the biddy should be doing for the people. Giving the money to the people, not taking the money away. He also emphasized the administration's approach to acquiring Bitcoin in budget-neutral ways, likening BTC accumulation to gold reserves. You know, I've been asked all the time, it's like, how much do you want? Well, that's like asking a country, how much gold do you want? As much as we can get. So, another good answer. Trump's executive order has already sparked legislative action aiming to build on this momentum. Senator Cynthia Lovelace and Congressman Nick Begich have each proposed plans for the U.S. to acquire 1 million Bitcoin over the next 5 years, ensuring a long-term reserve of the scarce asset. Earlier today at DAS, House Majority Whip and Congressman Tom Emmer stated that he believes his legislation will be enacted before this Congress is done. So, lots of bullish things happening in the biddy, right? We didn't even talk about the Bitcoin reserve. We didn't even talk about the U.S. I mean, you know, it just shows you how bad of a memory humans have, right? Everybody in the crypto industry and crypto environment and crypto historians and crypto investors and you know, crypto lovers and everybody was looking forward to a U.S. Bitcoin strategic reserve. Everybody. Then it happened, and it was kind of lackluster because the price didn't pump like everybody expected. So all of a sudden, everybody then thought, oh, it's over for the Bitcoin. Oh, the price rally is done. Oh, things are going to drop. Oh, I'm getting out. You know, how much more bullish can you get than the biggest economy in the world saying we are adopting Bitcoin as a strategic reserve? And they went out of their way. At first, they fumbled their words a little bit, maybe because they're not as knowledgeable as we expected in Bitcoin. They fumbled their words a bit and said, "Oh, we're creating a crypto reserve," and then they came back, "No. I'm sure the crypto czar made him, go back and correct that, and oh no, we're gonna. Those other coins are, Cardano, XRP, and Solana. Yes, we're gonna stockpile those, but the reserve is gonna be Bitcoin." Right. So I don't see how much more bullish they can get. I don't know how much more I can convince people to put a few bucks into the Bitcoin. It is the future. In a number of years, it's very likely that the supply is going to be crushed, and it's going to be at the point where people are saying, "Shit, I had a chance to buy Bitcoin at 80,000. I had a chance to buy it at 75 grand. I had a chance to buy it at 85. Now it's 300 grand. Now it's unaffordable." And then the same thing is going to happen again in 3-4 years time. People are going to start saying, "Oh, I had a chance to buy Bitcoin at 300,000 bucks, and now it's 2 million." And this is going to continue on forever. This has happened in the past. You and me were like, I had a chance to buy Bitcoin at freaking 10 cents and didn't do it. I had a chance to get free Bitcoin. I remember they were giving free Bitcoin away. I wanted nothing to do with it. I thought it was a scam like everybody else. Michael Saylor, they were trying to orange pill him for a decade, and he was like, no. And then what does he do? He starts buying at 40 or 50,000 bucks. So you get the Bitcoin at the price you deserve. If a nation state wants to wait, and if the US wants to buy it at 85 grand, and another country, "Oh, it's not for us, let's wait and see what happens," and they buy it at 200,000, well, they get what they deserve. So you should get what you deserve, folks, and what you deserve is the best. You deserve to get in early. No one's saying go buy a Bitcoin, because it is expensive, and not many people have enough to go out and buy a Bitcoin. But remember, you don't have to buy a Bitcoin. If you're starting from zero, I suggest you start dollar cost averaging in until you get to 0.1. You make that a milestone. I'm going to get to 10% of a Bitcoin. If Bitcoin goes to, 2, 3, 10 million bucks, you're still a millionaire. So look at it that way. When things start to turn and the cycles go negative, which very well could happen if history repeats, toward the end of this year into the next year, that is when you're really going to get things on sale. And that's when, if you're trying to get to this 0.1 Bitcoin, that's when you can really start jumping the gun and buying twice as much, for example. And you can get to that 0.1, 0.2, 0.5. And, the next time the bull run comes, you'll be set. If Bitcoin in 2028, 2029 goes to 3 or 5 million bucks and you've got half a Bitcoin, well, there's your retirement fund, isn't it? So consider it. Personally, I feel strongly that the price will not go down. It's definitely going to chop. It's going to go up and down daily, up and down weekly, up and down monthly. But over the long run, it's going to end up just like the S&P 500. If you look at it from the beginning of time, from the 1900 until now, it has always gone up. If you take out all the daily dips and daily jumps and just look at it on a macro view, it definitely seems that it's just always going up at this 45 degree. And Bitcoin will do the same thing. Bitcoin's growing at a faster pace than the internet grew. And the biggest difference between the internet is the internet, everything's on the internet now, isn't it? Everything. What's not? I had to call the government today. I had to get my card that I had lost redone. You can't even do it. It was like, they direct you to a website, right? So everything's on the internet. The difference with Bitcoin and crypto is there's a coin associated to these things now, whereas in the past with Bitcoin, with the internet, there have to be programs created for the internet to monetize the internet, right? Enterprise on the internet, sales on the internet, things, Amazon carts, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It didn't start. It started just with porn, right? Think about it. Then things evolved. Now everybody who's anybody is selling stuff on the internet. Every single company. If you don't have a website, where's your company? And it's gone even further now with social media, etc. So on the crypto side, we already have a tokenized way of taking advantage of this market, a market that's growing twice as fast as the internet did. So keep that in mind. It's still very much in its infancy. You're still early, even though it feels to you like it might be late. You are still early. Take advantage of it. Dollar cost average in it, and that way, you're not taking a big chunk all at one time. It's not hitting your pocketbook very much. There are so many assets in the world. It's unbelievable. There's over 900 trillion assets worldwide. So money is everywhere. Take advantage of it. What is not abundant is time. So use your time wisely. Spend less money than what you earn so you always stay in the green. If you start making more money, start saving more money. Don't start spending more money and pretending you're a millionaire when you're not. Live modestly. Live within your means. Start saving when you're in your teens, in your early 20s, and ideally you can retire when you're 40 or 45. If you've got a great idea, jump right on it. Don't wait for tomorrow. I'm not ready, you say? Well, it doesn't matter if you're ready. Start your idea today, and that way things will happen. You might fail. You might have to start over again. You might have to jump right back on the drawing board and revamp the whole thing. But it's better to start and fail than it is to live in regret that you never tried at all. Folks, when you're watching Crypto News Global, you're not only watching, you are Crypto News Global. You give the motivation for this program to continue. Again, I scour the internet finding the newest stories every day so you don't have to, so we can all make money here together. I am on a path to have 500 to 1,000 subscribers this year. Please join me on this journey and subscribe to the channel. It would mean a lot to me. If you found this stream enjoyable, please share, like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you on the next stream, folks. Thanks so much for joining.